Good morning, or good afternoon, depending on when you're seeing this video. Today we're going to talk about segments and segment addition. Okay, so what is a segment? A segment or line segment is part of a line. It has two endpoints, and unlike a line, a segment can actually be measured. Okay, so down here in this little picture, they named the segment NO or ON. And then segments are named by their endpoints. The order of the endpoints do not matter. What is the measure of a segment? The measure of a segment is the length of a segment. Okay, so if you look down here at this picture, we have segment MA. MA tells us it is 18 inches. So they wrote MA is equal to 18. The measure of this segment, MA, is 18 inches. So this should be pretty self-explanatory. Same thing down here, we have T to H, and it is 9 centimeters. So the measure of segments TH is 9 centimeters. Bars are not, okay, keyword here, not used over the segment's name when stating the measure of the segment. So whenever you actually name a segment, you can put the bar over it. So for instance, if I was to name this guy right here, okay, he would be MA. That's his name. But where I'm referring to his measurement, I have to use this notation over here. You notice how there's no bar over the top of MA because we're talking about the distance between M and A. Here's a very important thing, something about congruent. What are congruent segments? The word congruent means equal measure. Equal measure. The symbol for congruent is shown like this. Congruent segments are segments that have the same measure. Congruent segments can be identified by tick marks. So down here in this picture, it's telling us that QR is the same thing as UV. Okay, so QR is the same thing as UV. And then we have another one that says ST is the same thing as WX. And they showed that down here in red. Okay, QR, the same thing as UV, and ST is the same thing as WX. Okay. It is important to know the correct notation when referring to equal and or congruent statements. So just remember this. If the numbers are equal, then the objects are congruent. Okay. So down here you have the correct notation and the incorrect notation. Numbers are equal, objects are congruent. Numbers are equal, objects are congruent. So remember, if we don't have the bar on top of the name, there's no bar there, then that means that we're talking about their distance, which is in numbers. So this would be equal, this would be congruent, because if you put the bar on top, it's talking about the object. Okay, just the name with no numbers. That's why they are congruent. Objects are congruent. Now this would be the incorrect way to do it. Do not put congruent symbol when you don't have the bar above it. Okay? Same thing goes for the opposite way as well. Don't do that. It's wrong. All right, now it's our turn. So use the figures below to make 4 congruent statements. Okay. Well, do you agree that that's AF is the same thing as DE? See how they're labeled by 4 tick marks? That means they're the same thing. Okay. So that's the first one I could do. AF is congruent to DE. Another one I could say is AD. AD is congruent to FE. FE. So AD is congruent to FE. Remember, they're labeled by one tick mark. Okay, so this is the same thing as this one. So now let's look over here at this shape. I have BH is the same thing as HG because they have two tick marks. That tells me that they're congruent. Okay, so I have BH is congruent to HG. And then my last and final one would be BC. BC is congruent to GC. Because again, three tick marks here, same tick marks, they're congruent. So I have BC is congruent to GC. What is betweenness of points? Well, betweenness is just a fancy way of saying the dot that's between my 2 points. Okay, so for instance, if I'm looking at this first one here, the betweenness point would be I. I is between P and G, so this is the betweenness because I is between P and G. Same thing down here for this one. O is between C and W, C and W, so this is the betweenness. What is segment addition? Betweenness of points is often mentioned in cases where segment addition is used. If B is between points A and C, then AB plus BC is equal to AC. Okay, and if that didn't quite make sense, let's look at this picture. Okay, let's look at this picture. It's telling me that PI, the distance from P to I, which is right here in blue, if I was to add IG, this distance here in red, it would equal the total distance from P to G down here in purple. So if I add the blue one and I add the red one together, it would give me the total distance here in purple. And we can represent that with letters. So from P to I plus I to G would be equal to P all the way to G. And you can make it look like that. Hopefully that kind of makes sense for you. This format is useful for finding missing measures and variables. Let's see how this really works out. Find each missing value if A is between C and D. Okay, well here we go. We have C to A here is equal to 4. And then we have A to D is equal to 3. And that would be equal to the total distance from C to D. That's kind of off, isn't it? So what would CD equal? All you have to do is do this simple addition, 4 plus 3, which is 7. So that means the distance from C to D would be 7. All right, let's do number 2. It says C to D, so the very long distance there, all the way from the end to end is 15. And then from A to D is 7. And then it says find A to C. It wants to know what is this distance right here from A to C. So this is our little question mark. We want to know what that is. So let's plug in what we know. We know that CA is unknown, so we just leave it as CA. We know that AD, A to D is 7, so I can plug in 7. And then I know that C to D, the total distance, is 15. So then for CD, I can put 15. Now we treat it kind of like an algebra problem. We have to solve for CA. Okay, so I would subtract 7 from both sides. And I would get CA is equal to what? 8. All right, let's try it with some algebra this time. Find each missing value if A is between C and D. Okay, well, it's telling me that AC is x plus 1. So they went ahead and filled that in for us. So from A to C, this distance right here, is equal to x plus 1. And then you have the distance from A to D is equal to x plus 3. So they went ahead and threw that on there for you. And they said xd, CD, so from all the way from C all the way to D is 3x minus 5. So they put that down here for you. So from C to D, that distance there is 3x minus 5. It wants us to solve for x and solve for the distance from A to D. Okay, we got to write out the formula. Okay, so we have CA or AC plus AD would be equal to CD. And where did I get that from? Well, I know that if I take these two guys, this one, and put them together, it gives me the total distance. So again, AC plus this distance here, AD, is equal to CD, the total distance. So add these two together, it's the total distance. So I wrote that out. Now let's fill in what we know. AC is x plus 1 plus AD, well, AD is x plus 3. And it's going to equal CD, and CD is 3x minus 5. Okay, if I look at each one of my parentheses, there's nothing I need to do inside of them, so I can go ahead and drop all my parentheses. Now I just need to solve for x. On the left side, I need to combine like terms. I got x plus x is 2x. And then I have 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3, which is 4. And it equals 3x minus 5. Now I have x's on both sides of my equal sign. I need to move my x to one side or the other. I'm going to go ahead and move my 2x to the other side. My 4 would fall down. 3x minus 2x is just x. And then my minus 5 falls down. And my last step is to get rid of this minus 5. So in order to get rid of minus 5, I need to add 5. And I get 9 is equal to x. So there we go, solve for x. So now up here at the very top, I can actually plug in my answer, which is 9. And then it asks me, what is AD, the distance of AD? Well, A to D was what? A to D is x plus 3. So I know that AD is equal to x plus 3. Well, I just solved for x. I know what x is now. X is 9. So wherever I see x, I can replace it with a 9. So that means that this guy is equal to 9 plus 3, which tells me that AD is equal to 12. Give you a second to let that soak in. All right. Now let's try this one. Over here in the directions, it's always very important to read the directions or else you'll be lost. Use the 3 tiles on slide 12 to cut, paste, drag, and drop each tile and the matching description on this slide. In each problem, assume A is between C and D. Okay, that helps out a lot. This right here helps out a lot. Okay, assume that A is between C and D. Okay, so here's our answer choices, 13, 8, and 4. Okay, I'm not going to drag and drop them. I'm just going to solve in a little box for you guys. So I know I'm going to have 2 points. Okay, and I know that A down here, it told me that A is going to be between C and D, so I know this is C and I know this is D. It says that A to C is 8, so here's A. So this distance here is 8, and then from A to D is 5. And it says find C to D. So I got to find that distance right there. So then all I got to do is add those two numbers together. So I have AC plus AD is equal to CD. It gave me almost everything. AC is 8. A to D is 5. And that total distance there would be equal to CD. So 8 plus 5, 13. So CD is equal to 13. Let's do the same thing for the next one. All right, here's my 2 endpoints. I know that that is C and I know that's D. Because again, down here in the directions, it told me in each problem, assume that A is between C and D. So it's telling me that the total distance here for the first one says CD is equal to 20. So that means the total distance here is equal to 20. And then it says AD is equal to 12. So this distance here is 12. And it says find AC. So I want to know what, oh, I'm sorry, I put the 12 in the wrong spot. AD is 12. This guy is 12. And then it says find AC. So we want to know this distance here. So if I want to find this missing distance, let's write out our formula. I have AC plus AD is equal to CD. Well, we have no idea what AC is. We do know that AD is 12, and we know that AC is 20. So again, we have to treat this like an algebra problem. In order to solve for AC, I would need to subtract 12 from both sides. That would cancel out. I'd be left with AC is equal to 20 minus 12, which is 8. All right, let's do this last one. It says A to C is 2x plus 1. So this guy right here is 2x plus 1. A to D is 2x plus 3. And then it tells me that CD, the total distance, C to D, total distance, is equal to 5x minus 10. Let me zoom in on this for you guys a little bit. I need y'all to really pay attention on this one. So I need to find x on this one. So I do the exact same thing I've been doing, except this time I got to use algebra. So I have AC, which is 2x plus 1 plus, again, I'm taking this guy plus this guy. Again, that's this guy plus this guy is equal to this guy. So I wrote this one down, and then I'm going to add this guy to him. 2x plus 3. And he's going to equal total distance, 5x minus 10. So let's see if I can, I'll just scoot this down. That works. Okay, now let's solve. So again, there's nothing I can do in any of my parentheses, so I just need to drop them. So then that means I need to combine like terms. On the left side, I have 2x plus 2x, which gives me a total of 4x. And then I have plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3, which is a plus 4. And it's going to equal 5x minus 10. Now I have variables on both sides, so I need to figure out which side do I want them on. For me, I'm going to go with the right side. So I would subtract 4x, subtract 4x. This guy cancels. My 4 comes down. 5x minus 4x is just x, and then my minus 10 falls down. Now my last step is to get rid of this minus 10. So in order to get rid of minus 10, I need to add 10 to both sides. So add 10, add 10. Finish up over here. You get x is equal to 14. And what do you know? There's your answer choice of 14. Hopefully all this made sense. Again, if you guys are going to end up having any questions, I'll be inside the Google Meet at all times, at least for the class period. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment anywhere you like, and I should get a notification. If I don't answer within, I don't know, an hour or two, make sure to just send me an email. Hope you guys are doing well.